Yo, 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 it is your boy Nice versus Wild, and you're listening to another episode of Be a Wolf Sessions. Thank you for tuning in. Yet another week, yet another Monday, and you're showing up, and I'm so proud of you. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to let you in a secret. I'm a little bit nervous about the next 7 days. I'm a little bit anxious. I'm a little bit stressed because it's going to be probably the most stressful and most fun 7 days of my life because the Great South Road Running Festival is happening on Sunday. It's a full capacity event, and when we were organizing the event, we literally had no idea that it was going to be at full capacity. So many runners and walkers signed up for the run. I'm so excited to bring the community together and also connect with so many new people, and we spend so much time online and on our phones. We hardly get to connect with people, and every time we get to do the Great South Road Running Festival, I always meet somebody in real life that inspires me, and vice versa. And I think it's so cool to see people coming together, and this event's all about, spreading love, empowering the next generation as well. And we're working with so many amazing charities as well this year, and to really elevate all communities, and I'm excited for it. So October 15th, this Sunday, it's all happening, and I'm nervous, but at the same time I'm super excited. So if this is your first time listening and you're like, who the heck is this guy? My name is Nigel Shashil. I am a full-time creative entrepreneur from South Auckland. I was born in a rural Fijian village called Lambasa, Bunileka, and my mission in life is to write a story that beats longer than my heart. Now, speaking of stories, we're going to be talking about branding. Now, if you're a solo entrepreneur, creative, and artist, branding is a big sort of topic that I feel like you've probably gone over already, or if you're in the process of starting an idea or concept and trying to bring it to life and bring it to your communities, and you're like, shit, I need to get my branding sorted. Let me explain. It might not be the most important thing. Okay, really, it might not. And a lot of times, I've made this mistake a lot of times, thinking that branding might be the most important thing in terms of bringing an idea to life. I somehow disagree, but let me explain. Now, look at this. If you're watching this on YouTube, go check it out, because I'm just showing off the Great South Road Running Festival medals for this year, and it's got like custom band that's got all our branding on it, and the brand that I kind of came up with in terms of the logo and stuff like that. I literally made this in a cafe. It took me about 15 minutes to bring that to life, and it's going. And I sometimes 15 minutes. I wish I could have spent longer, but time was of the essence. We needed to get the promo stuff started for the event this year, and I just wanted to tell you that you can do things in short periods of time, and you don't have to get it right on the first go. You can trial and error, and come back, and maybe next year I'll tweak the branding a little bit as well, but stuff like that. Like, don't let your branding and your you being a perfectionist stop you from creating the ideas and bringing it to this world. I'm a big believer in your experience is the greatest learner, and your experience will teach you how to improve. But if you stop yourself in creating and bringing it to the world, that is going to be your biggest barrier. And a lot of times, as creatives, as artists, as business owners, we don't trust our instincts and our gut enough because we're just so focused on getting it perfect and getting it right. And I'm going to give you guys some examples, right? We've been doing the Great South Road Running Festival for 3 years. It's been trial and error. Like, the first time, like I said, a couple of people showed up. Second time, a bit more. And this time, it's even bigger. But it was trial and error of the brand, of the messaging, of the narrative, and also the ideas that we want to make sure we bring to life to inspire people to really come together. And same thing going for feature weddings, right? Or with a creative agency. When I focus, especially going back 10 years, I'm really going to try to give you guys some valuable insights today. Going back 10 years when I started Feature, the creative agency, and Feature Weddings on its own, like, I was so focused on like getting the brand work right, and I hardly focused on the product and the service and how it's going to create, like, how am I going to create so much value in the businesses that we work with, or the couples we work with. How can we create a product that's going to make a lasting impact and for the long term when we sell something or we create something. And I didn't really focus on that. I was focused so much on just myself in terms of the what looks good on paper, or what looks good on visuals, or what looks good on computer. And I looked at branding as in like, oh, this has to be in a certain way for people to buy things or like it, or, you know, attach something to it. But I want you to think about branding differently. Branding is the values and the ideas you want people to see in you. When you talk about your brand, what do you want them to believe? What do you stand for? And I know it sounds really simple, but me going back 10 years, I never understood that. I never understood that it wasn't about making it look perfect or being flawless and stuff like that. It was actually about how can you create a feeling in people so they can resonate with your brand and find a little bit of themselves in it. If you can create a brand where people can personally relate to it, you're starting to create a lifestyle brand. And I think when you can do that for long periods of time, people will come to you regardless of what you're doing, what your service is, what your product is, because you're bringing a sense of themselves in it. And in a world that we live in, we always, it's a narrative, we're always seeking a sense of belonging. And if you can create a business, an idea, a concept, or anything that you're working on right now with that can create a sense of belonging, I promise you it's going to succeed for the long term. So yeah, little conversation about branding, but I wanted to really highlight that in today's session and really make you realize that it's not about being perfect. Like that 15-minute design that I made for the medals this year, I wish I could have spent more time and made it better, but time was off the essence, and there was more things on the priority list of obviously getting people together for the event, organizing it, doing like social media marketing and stuff like that for it, and getting people to sign up and stuff like that. There's so many elements. I just gotta give it to like event planners, man. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And I think when we value too much of being in a certain way, or trying to chase perfection, trying to be perfect in a certain craft, it can really bite us in the butt, to be honest. And I think if you are in a position right now where you're like, am I focusing on the right things? Like, why am I not getting leads in my business, or why am I not creating more chances for myself and stuff like that? It's probably because you're just focusing on the wrong thing. And every time I redirected it back to service, or how is this adding more value to my consumer, or to the person that's even buying it, like if I'm talking in a business sense, it's like your branding is your perception that you're creating. How are you creating associations that are ideas that you want people to connect to your brand? Build a brand that reflects the values and the ideas you want your prospective customers, clients to be able to value. And I think when you can do that, that's where the magic's at. And building a product and a quality and the service is far more valuable than just the branding. The experience and the way you make people feel with your art and your craft and your business is so much more valuable than the logo that your business is, or like the design of your branding and stuff like that. So think about that stuff, a couple of things I kind of wanted to note, the resources and stuff like that all matters. It's probably more important, and how you're using your time, stuff like that we kind of talked about in the last session. And also really understanding that, your business is so in your own ideas, your business is what you make it, and where you spend your energy is the outcomes that you're going to get. And I just want to say that, me, when I was 19, 20, 21, I just spent my energy in the wrong places. I thought that I needed to do things in a certain way to make people kind of believe it, and I wasn't really getting much traction. Feature, the creative agency, was failing, and it failed for so long before it started to make money. And I think it's realizing that you start to sort of like compare and figure out like, is this where I'm meant to be and stuff like that. And I think when you're in that branding space, you think there's a certain right or wrong, and there's a certain way to do it, but it's really not. The biggest thing you could do is create a brand that people can personally relate to, and if you can create a brand that people can relate to, it's gonna work. So hopefully that gives you guys some insights, some tips. Quick 10-minute session this week around branding, and hopefully it sparks some ideas in your brain to keep going. I just want to say thank you to everybody, doing reviews and stuff on the Be a Wolf sessions. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And as you know, all of these sessions are free, like freestyle, like it's off the cuff here. No retakes, just off the straight camera record, and we're recording it. And I think as we go on these Be a Wolf sessions, I like making mistakes, because I think it just shows you that like how real these conversations are. It's not like everybody else on YouTube and on Instagram and like showing you uncut versions. I think like when we're real with ourselves in a world that's like not. Like sometimes I think that's when you sort of find, people that can genuinely relate to you, because, no one's perfect, and I'm not perfect at any means. But I think when we do this on a regular basis, it really helps us to connect. And I hope if you're listening to this on the car, or when you're running, or when you're in your zone flow state of creating your ideas and your business to life, I hope it inspires you that, hey, it's not about being perfect. It's not about creating the perfect brand. It's about giving it a go, trying your best, and learning from the trial and error, learning from your experience, valuing your experience, and realizing that if you can make somebody relate and make somebody feel a sense of belonging in your business and your service, they will always buy from you, create from you, connect with you, and also help you to get to the next stage. So yeah, hopefully this conversation sparked a light. Thank you for listening to another Be a Wolf session. I am excited for this week. It's going to be a heck of a roller coaster. Looking forward to seeing everybody on Great South Road on October 15th. This is 2023. It's going to be a heck of a journey. So yeah, I will see you next Monday. Peace and love. Keep being you. Keep being a wolf. Let's go.